Okay, I'm finally getting around to doing my pregnancy journey video. It's going to be several parts because I have a really long story. So hopefully you guys have some time on your hands to kill. Okay, so Kaylee was not a planned baby. Basically what happened is I was on the pill, I was on Lavora, and I missed a few days and we weren't careful, and then I had a pregnancy scare. So I missed a few days and then I was late. And my body is like clockwork. So I was really late. But my pregnancy tests were still showing negative. But I'd read that and heard that it not always shows up positive. So I went to the doctor and everything. And they were like, I don't know what to tell you. So anyway, we basically just assumed that I was pregnant. So I stopped taking my pill. I started taking prenatals, and we, just didn't use protection. And then, of course, gosh, it was like, I think a month late. I had one day where Aunt Flo decided to pay me a visit, and then she was gone. And so that's really short. And then, after that, I was late again. So I was just like, oh, great, because this whole time we hadn't been careful because we just basically assumed that I was pregnant, right? So October 31st, Halloween of last year, I took 3 pregnancy tests and thought my eyes were playing tricks on me because I couldn't tell if the line was actually legit. And November 1st, I went out. So I basically spent Halloween knowing that I was pregnant subconsciously. And then November 1st, we went out and bought digital. And that one showed I was pregnant. And then I took another one the second day of November 2nd. And lo and behold, that one was positive too. So I went back to the doctor. And of course, he said that I was pregnant and stuff. So that began my journey. And I had to have an ultrasound done right away because we didn't know the conception date. So this is Kaylee when she was 7. I was 7 weeks along is what they diagnosed me at. She is tiny, and I heard the heartbeat, and it was just amazing. I remember I think it's amazing now, but I remember at the time just being like, oh my gosh, I was just in shock. Anyway, so at the time they did my ultrasound, they found a huge cyst, a corpus luteum cyst, but she said that it was like one of the biggest cysts that she'd ever seen, and she's been practicing medicine, my OB, for quite a long time. And so they had to keep an eye on it. And she said that if it didn't go down, they were worried about it rupturing because how the ovarian cysts work is they can twist off the blood flow to I think it's your fallopian tube or something. Anyway, I have this all written down in my pregnancy journal, and of course I couldn't find it, so bear with me here. So I got to get ultrasounds every week from the very beginning. And I was also classified as high risk because I'm adopted, so my family history is unknown, and my husband has a blood disorder, so he does have to take warfarin, which are blood thinners. So the first prenatal visit, I got 21 vials of blood taken. No joke. They screened me for everything. And all of my levels and everything, my vitamin D's and all that. So anyway, my cyst thankfully went down because they said that if it didn't go down, they were going to have to go in and operate to whack it off, and luckily it went down. So morning sickness started on Thanksgiving Day, and I will never forget it because my husband made this huge Thanksgiving meal. We made this big deal about how we wanted to spend Thanksgiving by ourselves and have a meal of ourselves, with just him and I, and also, and then later we'd go and join family. Well, he made this huge Thanksgiving feast, and I did not eat any of it. I got so sick. And from then on, I had the most terrible food aversions ever. I lost 10 pounds really, really fast. And I would open the fridge and just gag. I mean, it was terrible. I couldn't move. I had to take vacation time from work. I ended up having to take a medical leave of absence from work because I just could not move at all. And I didn't actually throw up because I'm one of those people that fights it. I hate throwing up. But I was absolutely miserable. So it got better about, I want to say 3 or 4 weeks into the second trimester. We went to Hawaii because we'd already booked the trip, and we went to Hawaii for our anniversary, which is at the end of January. And we went to the Big Island this year, and my appetite started coming back a week before. And this is little Kaylee at the beginning of January, and I am 13 weeks, 6 days here. So crazy to think that that's her. And this one also is, this was at a different doctor's office because I had 2 different doctors at the time. There's a little hand. So those are the ultrasounds I got before I left for Hawaii, and my appetite started coming back, and I was feeling a little bit better when we were in Hawaii, which was really nice because it would have been terrible to be in Hawaii not feeling well. So they did another ultrasound, and I found out that she was a girl when I was almost, well, one doctor said I was 20 weeks, the other doctor said I was 21, but it was really hard for me because I had girlfriends who were like 16 and 18 weeks and they'd already found out what they were having. So, anyway, this is, we found out on February 25th. There's her little head. And then this is the 3D. It's in black and white though. But there's her little face. So crazy, you guys. And then here is the little shot that we got to see of her being a baby girl. And I thought she was a boy, and so did my husband, because I think he thought that because I thought that. And when they were like, it's a girl, I was like, are you sure? That was my reaction. And I was like, will you check again? And they were like, no, it's a girl. So anyway, my husband was deathly sick when we went for our ultrasound. He was like puking, and I was like, I'm not rescheduling this ultrasound. I've had to wait. I haven't had sleep for the last 3 days because I'm so anxious to find out. You know, and our nesting had already began. You know, I'd already gotten the baby room, you know, done as much as I could. And I just wanted to know so bad. So he was such a good sport and came with. And then afterwards, I shopped for 3 days straight, didn't stop. And I filled up her closet. So, anyway, so when they did an ultrasound, right before I was 20 weeks, they actually noticed that my amniotic fluid levels were high because I just had a ton of pressure on my stomach. And they were just doing a routine ultrasound, and my amniotic fluid levels were high, so I had to, again, keep getting ultrasounds to check on that. And they said that if the amniotic fluid levels were so high that they said that if they didn't start going down, they were going to have to do an amniocentesis and drain some of it, which really scared me. So luckily, though, like a week before, they were like, okay, we'll give you, you know, 3 weeks to get it down. And the second week, the levels started going down. So I did not have to get one. But yeah, so that was my drama for the second trimester. And I'm going to stop and start another one because I don't want to go over time. Because part 3 is probably the one that'll take the longest to explain. It's probably going to be at least 1, if not 2 more parts. So hold on.